6 o'clock hour here on 9 News Mornings, and we start this hour with a traffic impact alert. Thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Corey Rose. We have issued the alert for an accident on I-70 near the tunnels. Let's get right over to traffic anchor Brianna Fernandez. Brianna, this has closed down a portion of I-70.
Yeah, it's been closed since about 3:30 this morning when I first woke up and realized that there was a full closure happening in this area. Now, we are still waiting for more information from Colorado State Patrol. Right now, you are seeing our closest CDOT camera. This is all happening along eastbound I-70. Like you guys mentioned, right near the tunnels. So according to the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office, they are saying that this crash has no injuries, but the one leading the investigation will be Colorado State Patrol. Now that the sun's coming up and we're getting a better look of this crash, it looks like a semi was involved in this crash. Again, still a full closure that we are seeing along eastbound I-70, and I'll pass along new information when Colorado State Patrol reaches back out to me. Now, I do want to switch things over to our main maps because here in the Denver metro area, we are tracking our first crash of the morning happening along our major interstates along northbound I-25 right near Ridgegate Parkway. So 2 right lanes partially blocked. I just checked those speed times for you and people are slowing down to 17 miles per hour. Your overall drive, if you are taking northbound I-25 heading up to 225, slowing down, it's going to take you about 25 minutes this morning. Usually it only takes people 16 to 17 minutes on a good day, but because we are seeing that closure on that right hand side and that crash that's happening right now, we are slowing down to 46 miles per hour.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Let's get back to our top story this morning, the wildfires that continue to burn around the state. The Snyder Fire near the Utah border is the largest. Since starting last Friday night, it's burned roughly 30,000 acres. It's also claimed the lives of 3 firefighters this past weekend and injured 2 others.
A procession for the fallen firefighters was held yesterday in Grand Junction. The Department of the Interior identified the 3 firefighters as Emily Baker from Clinton Township, Michigan, Nick Hutcherson from Glendale, Arizona, and Sidney Watson from Warrior, Alabama. They were killed while battling the Knowles Fire, which later merged with the Snyder Fire out in Mesa County.
Firefighters from all over the state are answering the call to help with these wildfires. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joining us live here with how some metro area crews are helping out. Janelle?
Good morning. Yeah, firefighters in the Denver metro area naturally can't sit by and watch a fire burn. Several local fire departments have sent crews out to the western slope and down south to help fight growing fires. Boulder Fire Rescue sent 3 firefighters to Aspen Acres Fire near Pueblo. West Metro sent 2 crews of 4 to the Snyder Fire, and Mountain View Fire Rescue says they got a call to head to the state line Sunday afternoon. Firefighters say that they shuffled their members on shift to leave by Monday morning. The management officer says they set aside resources to be able to manage sending crews to where help is needed and protect their district at home.
They end up not taking specifically from our line personnel. And with that, we are able to still manage our local response, keeping our staff levels at the respected need while being able to provide the need for the incident on the western slope.
Now, even though the department feels prepared to respond to fires here at home, they want people to know that they should not or limit their potential fire starts, especially with the 4th of July coming up this weekend. They're asking people to skip out on the fireworks and be extremely careful when using appliances that require fire, like grills. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Janelle, for that report. Of course, we have more to talk about here with fires burning around the state. Rocky Mountain National Park banning all campfires at this point. The ban is effective until further notice. Petroleum-fueled stoves and grills can be used in developed campgrounds, picnic areas, and in designated wilderness campsites, but they do have to be able to turn on and off. Smoking always banned in the park with very few exceptions. And of course, fireworks are not allowed as well. We will continue to follow these fires and the impacts the fires are developing. In the meantime, you can take alerts with you and stream 9 News everywhere you watch. Just scan the QR code you see right there on your screen and watch for free. Katie?
Well, this morning at 6:03, taking you live outside to Logs Peak. Some hazy, smoky conditions. Please abide by fire restrictions. Fire danger critical to extreme as we go through the next several days, just with warm, dry, and windy conditions ahead. So for today, red flag warnings once again will impact a big portion of the state, mainly the mountains, the foothills, the western slope. Hot, dry, and hazy here for the metro area. So some areas of patchy smoke in and around town this morning. Very few rain chances, but with fires actively burning still here in Colorado, particularly the Snyder Fire, the Aspen Acres Fire. The Wildfire also dragging in some of that smoke and haze as the winds pick up from the southwest for this afternoon, which will continue to impact air quality. Now for today, fire danger with a red flag warning. This begins at noon. All areas shaded here in red, so a large portion of the state. Not just worried about the fires that have already sparked and are currently burning, but also any new fires do have the potential to spark and spread as the winds pick up, the dry vegetation out there, drought conditions as they are. Just please be extra cautious. Now, the winds have calmed as of this morning, so we get that little break each morning where the humidity levels will be higher, temperatures fall, the winds will be a bit calmer. But again, by the afternoon, starting particularly at lunchtime, that's where we'll start to see the higher winds out into the west. Now, right now, it is calm, it is clear, but also a touch hazy. Temperatures right now in the low 60s in our backyard, high 50s near Fort Collins, and 55 degrees in Greeley. A little bit colder in the mountains. We've dropped down to the upper 20s and low 30s in spots over higher terrain. Now, our forecast for today, low 90s expected. We're looking at a high of 91 out of the airport, a little bit warmer out west. Steamboat getting to 80 degrees, upper 60s in Telluride. Air quality health advisories for a big portion of Colorado as we continue to watch that wildfire smoke drift in, and it'll be patchy. So as we take you through our smoke forecast down south into Pueblo, where the Aspen Acres fire is burning there near Beulah, we'll watch that smoke really move in over the eastern plains near Burlington, in and around Metro Denver. As the sun goes down later on tonight, it'll just be a hazy sunset. So this morning, severe thunderstorm risk not with us into the late afternoon, but we do have the potential for seeing a few brief, gusty, potentially severe warned storms. Very few and far between, but taking us through Futurecast right around 4 o'clock, could see a brief gusty storm near Greeley, mainly southeastern Colorado, Lamar to Springfield, Burlington, and into our central plains by 7 o'clock. That's where we'll be watching here across the state, and then we'll wake up tomorrow once again to sunshine. Rainfall forecast, not looking at much in the way of any real meaningful precipitation. Unfortunately, no real relief. It's just going to stay hot as well. Daytime highs will be back to the low 90s in town for tomorrow. Typically, we do see a high of 88 degrees. Looking ahead at our 7-day forecast, we will be watching the warm, dry, and windy weather through the weekend. Corey?
Katie, thank you. The Supreme Court has just ruled that mail-in ballots can be counted by election officials after Election Day. The 5-4 decision means in some states, ballots will count if they are postmarked by Election Day and received up to 5 business days later. But those will not be the rules here in Colorado. Our state law says mail-in ballots must be received by 7 p.m. on Election Day. A reminder to join us tonight for up-to-the-minute election results. We're going to be tracking who's winning and what those victories mean for Colorado. Our coverage and analysis begins at 6 p.m. We're going to have race results from 7 until 10 on KTVD. More on 9 News at 10 here on Channel 9 and anywhere you stream us online.
The Colorado Supreme Court has blocked a Democratic effort to redraw the state's congressional maps in their favor. Justices unanimously rejected 5 ballot proposals on Monday, 3 from Democrats and 2 Republican countermeasures, ruling that they violated the state's single subject rule for ballot initiatives. Colorado's Democratic Party chair says Republicans forced the state hands after GOP-led states redrew maps at President Trump's urging. Former Republican Secretary of State Wayne Williams, meanwhile, who challenged the measure, says the ruling protects Colorado's voter-approved independent process.
We should not be having a system where maps get rigged, and Donald Trump started this war, and unfortunately we're being forced to respond.
I don't favor midterm redistricting when that's not the standard that we have used in our state, and that's true whether it's a Republican state that's done it or a Democratic state that's done it.
Democratic Party Chair Shad Murib, who says state lawmakers could send a new measure to voters next year, but he also says Colorado could just simply choose to sit this one out. Attorneys are now reviewing the state's options.
Today, our nation's highest court is expected to rule on President Trump's efforts to restrict birthright citizenship. The case stems from President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenships for babies born in the U.S. to people in the U.S. without authorization. The case largely hinges on the phasing in part of the Constitution's 14th Amendment known as the Citizenship Clause.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson is sending a bipartisan housing affordability bill back to the White House, but President Trump is still undecided on whether or not to sign it. The president is pressuring Republicans in Congress to move forward with his federal elections overhaul bill. The Save America Act is a voter ID and proof of citizenship package. GOP leaders say there is no path to pass it, despite voter ID requirements earning overwhelming bipartisan support from voters. The housing bill seeks to reduce federal regulations, streamline environmental reviews, and speed up the construction process. The president can sign it or he can veto it. If he takes no action, it will automatically become law after 10 days. Brianna?
6:08 is your time for this Tuesday morning. Taking a look at our drive times for anyone down in the Castle Rock area. We do have a crash. The right lane is partially blocked. This crash happened about 20 minutes ago. So northbound I-25 heading up to 225. It's going to take you about 30 minutes, especially if you're coming from the Castle Rock area heading up to maybe the Tech Center. We are slowing down right now to 41 miles per hour. Definitely stick to that left and that center lane for that morning drive.